Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to another exciting episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Coming at you from Fort Worth, Texas. I am Stevie Stacks. Mikey couldn't join us today, but we're going to have a great show. We've got a special guest on this episode 282 of your favorite short-term, mid-term, long-term rental podcast in the world. And we have Assaf Karmon from Turno. Just Turno. Used to be TurnoverBNB. Now it's just Turno.com, Turno.com. And he's a repeat guest. Well, he came on the show years ago, and he is the founder of Turno. And I'm sure many of our listeners out there use Turno. Hopefully you all do, because it's awesome. And I can personally attest to I couldn't run my business without it. And I have over 50 rental properties that I manage, short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, and I love Turno. They're not even my sponsor, but I just, I love these guys so much. And I'm so happy to have you on the show again, Assaf. And man, let's dive into it. First of all, tell me who you are, how you started this. Just catch us up to speed if someone didn't hear the previous episode with you on years ago.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. It's really nice to be back. I've been listening to you for years, and learned a lot of things and got inspired. So yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Turno, formerly TurnoverBNB. We're a vacation rental cleaning platform. We help people find cleaners. We help people manage their existing cleaners, and we do it worldwide. We're also connected to your favorite PMS and Airbnb and every other booking source you can imagine.
That's cool, man. Yeah, you've been doing it for a few years now. How many years have you been in business?
It's been 6 years or almost 7.
Wow, wow. And what made you want to start this business? I mean, if you could refresh us, did you start off in the exciting world of short-term rentals, Airbnbs, and you thought this would be a cool thing to invent to help keep everything organized and the cleaners and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I was hosting myself and found it really time consuming. Just to stay on top of schedule, stay on top of quality, finding people, paying people. I felt it was, sucking up my time. I came into it with, a passive income mindset, and it wasn't passive. So I figured let's start with the hardest thing first. What is the hardest thing about this business? And for me, it was the operations and the cleaning. So that's what I set out to solve. In my education, my training, as a software engineer, as a tech lead, helped build a marketplace prior to that. So I've kind of had all this experience in building software, building marketplaces, and I figured I could apply this to this specific problem, and that was it.
Mm. You saw a problem, you came up with a solution for it, man. And you stuck with it because it's not easy to just create software, that actually works and that people want to use, right? But there was a big need for it because I mean, back then it was just pretty much Airbnb, and they were like, okay, rent out your place, here you go find you a cleaner, or do it yourself, which is a lot of us started doing the cleanings ourselves, and then we found like a cousin to do it, or a relative, and then we ventured off into the crazy world of because we've been doing this for like man, I've been doing it for like 7 or 8 years already. But so, back then we were like, okay, now I can't keep doing these cleanings, right? It's getting more and more difficult to stay on top of this myself, or my cousin really isn't very good at it, or family member or a friend or whatever. And so we venture off into the world of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist to try to find cleaners, and then and we go through all that and try to keep them on their schedule and stuff like that. So I'm I bring it all the way back around to like whenever we discovered you. I think Micah told me about you, and I said, okay, you can go on there and find cleaners. That's cool. And then it keeps everything, the schedule. It keeps the schedule for them because you link it up with iCal to Airbnb, VRBO, and then they know when to go clean. We don't got to tell them, hey, you got to go clean tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like it was a game changer, big time. And then the cleaners were ranked and they had stars, 5-star cleaners, and people wrote a thing about them if they were great cleaners or not so great. And so that's what was so cool because one stop shopping, you created something awesome, and we still use it, man. I still use TurnoverBNB. I'm sorry, I still use Turno. God, dang it. I knew I was gonna say that. I was telling myself I'm not gonna mess up, but I still use it. Well, my VAs use it. So it's easy, it's user friendly. They handle all the cleanings, turnovers. We don't have to like ask for pictures or videos. It's all uploaded to the site. Every single, it's not like an infomercial, but every single property has its own,
Checklist.
checklist. There you go. That's the
Yeah.
word on how to clean. And if you don't know how to do a checklist, go. He has a bunch of examples on there. Go steal someone else's checklist on how to
So,
clean that.
our philosophy has always been we want people to manage by exception, right? Just go ahead, create your kind of operations script, the things that you want done, find the people that you want to work with, set up everything so that it happens automatically. A guest books your place, the cleaner is notified when to go, they know what to do. As they're finished, all the documentation gets uploaded, they automatically get paid. You don't have to do a damn thing, right? Unless there's an exception, and this is where you step in or your VA step in, and that's how it should be, right? Like it should be passive. That has been my mission, since starting this, making this a passive income, right? So you set up your operation, and if there's no exception, you don't have to do anything. You just sit back and relax. Or add more properties or keep working on the other things you're working on. But just create a template, create a script, and just let it run. That has been our mission, and we're working to make it to reduce those exceptions to the bare minimum so that you can grow your business.
Nice. And I told the story before. I think when you first hopped on, I was a little embarrassed to tell the story, but as an early operator, we're always looking for ways to save a buck, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna find me a cleaner from there, get started in the app, whatever, and then maybe make a deal with her outside of the app and save some money for both of us. I was thinking of doing something, guilty, whatever. We try to save money when we're bootstrapping it early on, right? And so what tripped me out was like the cleaner that I told this to. I was like, hey, did you want to just deal outside the app, save us both money, whatever, no fees? She's like, no, I'd rather stay inside the app. I was like, really? Why? Is it well, because it just keeps everything organized for me. Because now I'm picking up more houses. It keeps my schedules in line. It tells me when I have cleanings. I don't have to rely on a last minute call from a host saying, "Oh, you need to get over here and clean." That blew me away. And now, I mean, that was like an early on thought. When I'm getting my first cleaner off of there. But after we have several cleaners for different properties in different cities. There's no way I could step away from the app. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was cool. That even though you're taking a percentage of their money, a little small percentage of ours, that they still want to stay within the app and do everything in there. That speaks volumes to what you've created.
Well, thanks for keeping it honest, or at least failing to not keeping honest. But I think our pricing is we take 5% of the cleaning fee, which is ultimately just a couple of dollars, and I think we earn it because we save people a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot of mind space, knowing that they don't have to think about communication. They don't have to think about scheduling. Everything is in one place for them. All we do even your taxes for you. Collect all the receipts, We issue 1099s to the cleaners. It's just a tremendous amount of work that if you are even a little bit serious about running this as a business, then you should embrace, right? There's very few things in life that only cost a handful of dollars and save you so much time and so much trouble and give you so much value.
Oh yeah, big time. And once you start scaling your business, you look for things like that that'll save you time because it just gets overwhelming. And if someone can take care of an issue for you 100%, make it passive, the cleanings, the most important part of this business, then man, that's just a lifesaver right there. And so you mentioned 1099s. We're coming up on the end of the year. This episode is like December 13th, I believe, of 2023. And so that was a problem too early on. Like you gotta send these cleaners a 1099. Hopefully they fill it out, and and you gotta keep track of that and keep track of how much you paid them. And they're like, oh, do you have to report it? Kind of, with you guys, y'all do that for us, and that takes that off of our plate. So we do appreciate that as well.
I mean, just the amount of money that you'd have to pay your accountant to deal with it. Right? We saved you that. But yeah, I mean, that's, I tell that to a lot of operators. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of tools that have been created for you. Adopt it and roll with it. And you don't have to think about it twice. When you run a business, there's going to be, a few costs here and there. I think our app specifically is really, really inexpensive compared to the value that we deliver. And in the end, all businesses are basically a bunch of other services duct taped together, right? In one way or another, if you're looking at it, our business, we run it. I don't know how long is the list of services that we use. We have a little software for everything that we do. And that helps you keep headcount low and help you keep productivity high. If you're using really great tools to solve specific problems, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
So like what was one, like you said, you started this 6-7 years ago, something like that, right? 6 or
Yeah.
Okay. So what was something that was like an issue that kept coming up that you had to fix within the app? Do you remember something that sticks out that like early on you were doing it a certain way, but then after a lot of complaints came in or whatever, you were able to discover a problem and fix it?
For example, our chat system used to be kind of clunky. And that was because we were using, we built it ourselves. And then after really a couple of years of just keep hearing that people didn't like our chat system, we went ahead and we just paid quite a bit of money for, a service that only does chat, right? Like their chat is as good as WhatsApp or iMessage, and you can just bolt it into your software, and it really elevates the user experience. And like I mentioned before, don't reinvent the wheel. If someone else invented it and it's the top of its class, then shelling out a little bit to use it is a wise choice.
Yeah. Even you know that you outsource what you can't do extremely well yourself. You outsource it.
Yeah, it's like buy or build is kind of a business dilemma that every business owner needs to face. Like, do I make my own, or do I adopt something that someone else built that is really specialized at? And most of the time the answer is buy and not build, unless it's something you're really passionate about and you think that is the point of the differentiation that is going to make your business thrive.
How was the the ranking, the rating your cleaners? How has that improved over time? Instead of just, I don't know, how has that improved where we can rate them better and they can rate, I guess, us too?
So it really is an issue of just having done a critical mass. Once we have a lot more users and a lot more volume and a lot of more time, then the quality of the reviews increases, and we have more data that kind of shapes our ranking. So, we look obviously at the reviews that the customers left. We look at the responsiveness. We look at, the overall number of customers someone is serving, and are they able to retain customers, right? So if you're, the cleaner that you've talked to that you were trying to make a side deal with, like they knew that, if they were going to go off platform, that they were going to lose their access, to more customers. The same way that an Airbnb host knows that if he's going to take his guests offline, that there's a risk that Airbnb will know, and then they would lose their ranking on Airbnb.
Oh yeah, yeah. Have you ever had to kick cleaners off of the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Does
if
it
someone
happen a
is not,
lot?
I don't personally deal with it right now on a day-to-day basis, but it does happen. If someone is not performing, not doing a good job cleaning or not showing up or, going off the platform, then yeah. It's when you're running a marketplace, your job is to make sure that there is consistent quality experience, that the people who are providing the services are doing a good job in a similar way to Amazon or Airbnb. If someone is getting consistently poor reviews, then they're not going to stay on Airbnb, or that they're not going to see the light of day in terms of being on the top of the list.
Now, have you noticed your Turno being more like accepted in just like the residential area, like my house? If I want to have a cleaner, start cleaning my house once a month or something like that. Have people from that, I guess, just regular day-to-day life been utilizing Turno, or is that just more? Is this more for just short-term rentals?
We are focused on short-term rentals. We have some people that are, using us for vacation rentals and also for their own homes, but not. We don't have a dedicated residential offering. We may go there in the future. I, for example, use Turno on my home, and I just love the experience of just having it on autopilot. There's a really nice lady. She comes every Wednesday, and she uses the checklist that I created. There's some things that I'm particular about, and she's following my checklist. She's letting me know through our inventory, if I need to buy Windex, if I need to buy, paper towels or detergent or stuff like that. So it helps me stay on top of things. Being kind of a busy person, it's sometimes hard to stay on top of things, and I need all the help I can get.
And how does Turno help with like the logistic sides of things as far as supplies?
So you can create your supply list and ask, and once you create your supply list, every time the cleaner goes in to clean the unit, they would report the level of supplies. So for example, toilet paper. If you track that and it falls below a certain threshold, it would trigger a notification for you to go ahead and replenish. And you can do that for, shampoo, for soap, for coffee, for sugar, for salt, pepper, oil, whatever your guests need, you can set as an inventory item, and that would help you stay on top of that. Because, if you look at all the reviews you're getting on Airbnb, usually the poor reviews are one where a guest was expecting something and wasn't receiving it. For example, no toilet paper or no soap. Like you'd get dinged for that.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it really is a smart thing to make sure you have like an operational script that prevents you from falling into that trap, right?
Yeah, exactly. And is there like a way to do supply runs within the app if you need a cleaner to go pick up some stuff?
Uh, you'd have to, you can message them on our chat and ask something, or you can create a project that is a supply run. It is something that I've been thinking about, and maybe it will happen in the future where we automate
Mm,
supplies, where let's say something falls beneath a certain threshold, that we create, an automatic purchase order, and with Walmart or Amazon or Target, and that just kind of arrives.
mm,
I think that would be next level cool. I'm
hmm.
still thinking about ways to do it.
Please do that. That was one of my questions too. If you're gonna kind of, make a widget to link up with Amazon or Walmart, that's where we order most of our stuff. So
Yeah,
if you're able to do that, that would be awesome.
yeah. I love Amazon and Walmart. I think really makes life's easier. Now that Walmart does this, they deliver stuff within hours
Hmm.
for $10. It's a lifesaver.
I love it, man, so much. I've been using them a lot. Man, that was one of my questions I was gonna ask. Another issue I think I asked you a long time ago, with houses in particular, is trash pickup or trash removal, and that's a big thing. Is there something you're working on in the app that could help us with that? Because sometimes, a guest leaves and it ain't trash day until like 2 days later or something like that, and the cleaners, driving around a little car, they're not going to take all these trash bags, so we got to find um, you know, another answer to this problem.
So right now we don't have a way to link you up with trash removal, but if you know a trash removal person, you can add them to your team members section, and you can create a project that is like a trash removal project. And you can sort of automate that so that it happens on a recurring basis.
Okay, so like, and they would see when the turnovers happen, of course, and then they
Exactly.
would go there and check for any trash and maybe
Exactly.
clean around the outside of the house a little bit if some, trash accumulates if people hang out in the front yard or backyard. So yeah, that'd be a good
So you can
add-on
you can
right there.
create, you can create a trash pickup project. You can set a price against it. Then once they do it, we automatically pay them. So, it's one more thing that you don't have to do, and then, ultimately you arrive at that completely passive source of income, right?
You love passive, man.
I
The word of the day. It is.
mean, don't we all, right? I mean, this is what we get into this for, is the yield, right? You get a better yield on your property than you do from you know, a long-term resident. But now the goal is to reduce the effort so that you're not trading, a lot of your time in exchange for that higher return.
And speaking of passive, I do laugh when I see gurus out there saying, start you an Airbnb and make some passive income. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people don't know. This is like the least passive way to do real estate, but you're helping making parts of it at least more passive for us or for operators out
That's
there.
that's the goal, man. That's the
Yeah.
goal. The goal is to make this as passive as possible while maintaining your time for yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, no, like I said earlier, I couldn't run my business without Turno, and it helps tremendously and have everything in one place. I don't even look at it, tell you the truth anymore because I taught the my VAs how to do it, and they took it from there. It's like something I could pass off to them, so it's even more passive to me because they're the ones communicating with the cleaners, getting all the the pictures, videos, whatever in the app. They have the instructions there, so I don't even log into Turno. Truth be told, if we need more cleaners, we got a new units coming in. I say, hey, we got more units. They go find the cleaners. They set everything up. I mean, they do everything because it's easy to use.
That's what we were here to do. We want to be the infrastructure that people use when they operate short-term rentals, right? There's no need for everyone to do all this work of scheduling and communication and sourcing and issuing manual payments and doing taxes and taking pictures. Like, no, stop doing that. We've built this for you. Use it so that you can, spend time with your kids, find your next property, get a hobby, right? You don't have to, if you just kind of relinquish a little bit of control, and trust our platform that tens of thousands of people are using, like, you can really claw back a lot of time and then invest that time somewhere else, get another property.
Nice. Now, is there more competition now doing something like you're doing, an app for the cleaners?
Listen, if there is a big opportunity, it's always going to attract more competitors, and that's natural. We're lucky that we were able to kind of be first here and kind of create this leadership position. But yeah, obviously, wherever there's an opportunity, people are gonna come in and welcome.
I'll tell you something that occurs, and like I said, we have a ton of properties and hundreds of turnovers, and so what happens sometimes, and it's happened before, a cleaner might show up. I mean, we won't realize this till later. They'll show up to a property late, like an hour or 30 minutes before the next guest gets there, because they have a full schedule. And I understand, cleaners get a good cleaner sought after. They might have a full schedule, but they'll be like, "Oh my God, this place is a mess. I need more time." Blah blah blah. Tell the people, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" But we look at the cameras later, like, "Holy crap! They got there like 30 minutes before the guests arrive." So, do y'all have anything like the pizza tracker or the GPS tracker, the
We
Amazon
do.
tracker? Do you really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
So if you go into your app and you look at a specific project, you can see kind of the time that they started and where they were when they started it. So the nice thing about using Turno, obviously we don't eliminate 100% of the problem that happens when you work with people, but we give you the tools to help you solve them. For example, like geolocation that's associated with every project. And also the nice thing of working through a platform is that there is accountability that is built into this. Because when someone is working on our platform, they know that they are ranked. And when they mess up, that their rank is diminished, which doesn't happen when you work with an individual that is like straight off of Facebook Marketplace or whatever. Sure that there's always going to be problems with people, but we help reduce those to a bare minimum. Sometimes you get an Uber and it's not a good experience, and then there's a feedback process that helps keep people accountable and overall elevate the level of service that you're getting. So we strive to do the same thing.
Okay. Now, because here's the thing too, we've had in the past, is the cleaner will, if they finish a cleaning, like, "Oh, I forgot to hit the start button." They hit the start button, and then 1 second later they hit finished. So is that still, are they still able to do that? Because that doesn't seem like a cool thing, where they can start and finish it right away.
Yeah, so we try to make people aware of things so that they started and ended the same amount of at the appropriate time. But we also want to keep it flexible so that in case people make mistakes, that they can recover for them. We don't want someone to go and clean and then forget to click start and then never get paid, right? So we keep it as flexible as we can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that geolocation thing, that's pretty cool, man. So we'll know when they actually arrive to start cleaning and then and not give us grief and say, "Hey, this place is too messy. I need more time." And that screws us up, So
No, absolutely. And I think these are not robots, right? I mean, cleaners are people that are working really hard, and the vast majority are really on top of things, and really try to provide a great service, um, to the extent that they can. Um, but if someone does disappoint you, make sure to leave a review so that they are being held accountable.
That's true. That is true, man. So like, we all gonna get into like go back to houses. We got
Yeah,
the trash pickup thing, and I think I told you about it. A thing I was working on back then. I still have the
yeah.
name. I still have the domain name, and so I might do
What
something
was the
like
domain name?
Trash B and B.
Trash BNB.
Yeah, it's actually a strong name according to GoDaddy.
Yeah.
I sold Gamer B&B. I had started one called Gamer B&B, and I sold it for like $4,000. I was like, whoa! Bought a
Whoa.
little $10 domain and sold it for 4,000. So, if anybody wants to buy Trash B&B, hit me up. Um, so I think I asked you before, like, what about like for lawn service? And you thought about doing something like that, incorporating, because like Airbnbs at a houses, we need someone to do the lawns, and that's still kind of old school. I still got to find a guy. I got to call him. Oh, some guest said, or somebody, the cleaner said the grass is high. They need to go clean it. You got anything like that in the works?
Yes. So we are working on kind of expanding the range of services that we offer beyond cleaning to also maintenance, pool service, yard service. That's a longer term project. It's going to take some time to build that network so that it's reliable. It took us a long time to build a very big and reliable network of cleaners, kind of all over North America and now in Europe. It's going to take some time, but this is something you hopefully next time I come on the platform, on the podcast, which shouldn't hopefully not going to be another 4 or 5 years, and we can talk about that because the vision is to really have all the services that you need in order to run that passive income asset.
Hmm. That I mean, when you said that, I automatically thought, some of the online, the biggest complaints are, man, oh man, the guest got there and the pool's green, or the hot tub's disgusting, or stuff like that, and they don't have, they have a guy that comes every now and then, right? Or whenever they can make it out there. But if you could automate that too, because that's huge, man. Because people will
I
cancel.
know.
They'll cancel a big trip because they're paying a lot of money for that pool or hot tub.
We're competing with hotels, right? And
Hmm.
hotels, they have really structured operation scripts. So you need to be on par with that, and you need to have your operation script that's automated, and that leaves less room for error. Like you mentioned, you work hard, you buy a property, you renovate it, you decorate it, you put it out there, and then someone comes and like, the pool is green. You
Hmm.
can't blame them for being upset.
No, you can't for sure.
You just need to create a process that makes sure that it doesn't happen.
Exactly. And so
So, so
discount.
right now with Turno, you can create pool projects
Mhm.
on the platform. You just have to find your own pool person to do it. We don't have pool people for you right now, but hopefully in the future.
And you could just plug them right in.
Yep.
No, that's beautiful. And what was I gonna say? I have the question right here. Oh well, I guess another thing. The cleaners. I've heard them say it takes a few days to get paid. Now, is that being sped up at all? Cleaner
So
payouts.
so we pay them immediately, right? So whenever we charge a customer, we immediately pay out the cleaner. It's just the time that it takes from the card processing to hit their bank,
Okay.
right? So if you're running a business and you are accepting credit cards, there is a lag from the time you charge it until the time you get the money. It is we get the money at the same time that the cleaner get the money. It's just the way that card processing works. There's a 2 day delay that is just part of it.
Hmm. Are you still in Hawaii?
I personally live in Hawaii. Love it here. It's a wonderful place to live. Actually, today is kind of like a sucky rainy day.
Hmm.
It's been raining all day long, but it's usually not like that. It's just like nice sunshine and kind of mild weather and like gentle wind. Um, but I'm loving it here, man. It's great. So
It's
you're in
hot.
Texas, right?
Yeah, yeah, over here in Fort Worth. Yeah, it's I mean, it's all right. It's okay. We get extreme heat and extreme cold, so we get both of them. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
The Honolulu, right? It was Honolulu.
Yes, Honolulu. Yeah.
So I've never been.
Promise,
I
promise to hit me up whenever you come over. We'll get you a Mai Tai by the beach. We can maybe record a special episode.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
You can
Uh
write it up.
it's definitely a write-off. It's yeah, I've never been to Honolulu. I've been to Maui a couple times. Beautiful. And of course that was before the fires and everything. So
Maui is open for business. Lahaina, beautiful, beautiful historic town. But it is a very small part of Maui. The rest of Maui is actually it's a good time to visit because prices are relatively lower
mhm.
because of this crisis. And I mean, it's still Maui, it's still very expensive, but a little less so. And they really need the business. I think some people overdid it, asking people not to come to Maui.
Mhm.
And now they're suffering from both the consequences of the fire and also from kind of a dip in business in the rest of Maui
Mhm.
that is coming from this perception that sort of Maui is all burnt up. It's not. The rest of the island is as beautiful as it's always been.
It's a big island, man. I know it hit that one spot pretty hard, but like you said,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that is weird. People get on pedestals online and start, saying
We
things they shouldn't say.
we yeah, we started this GoFundMe to kind of offer some support for the Turno cleaners
Hmm.
on Maui that specifically in Lahaina. There's a group of them that used to turn a lot of properties in Lahaina, and because they're all burnt up, then they had to leave. We raised several $1,000s and we gave it to them, and we also offered to you know move their kind of reputation on Turner to wherever it is that they're moving to, so that they can continue operating their cleaning businesses somewhere else.
Yeah. Did the strict short-term rental laws loosen up because of the fires or not really?
So Maui has its own, it's separate from Honolulu, but short-term rentals have kind of proved their worth
Hmm.
in that situation because all those people who were displaced, they needed places to live on a short-term basis. And they were able to find places to live, through Airbnb, which is, it's a great platform for exactly this kind of situation. And people have been going to Airbnb after every major kind of natural disaster, right? If it's like a hurricane or a flood, people need a place to stay. Where do they go? They go to Airbnb. Or they're not going to be, living out of a small hotel room,
Yeah, yeah.
right? They need a place to be in. Airbnb has been really great um, as a platform for exactly these kind of use cases.
Man. Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely right, man. So then any kind of natural disaster and stuff, people they even let you put your place on there for free to help people out, stuff like that. So it's been a big help for sure.
Yeah, and obviously it's not free. It's infrastructure that is expensive to run and operate. And I I'm a big fan of Airbnb, creating this whole category out of thin air. Um, enabling all the entrepreneurs to, to make a good living, giving travelers a great choice of, a place to stay. I was just in Vancouver 2 weeks ago and stayed in an Airbnb. It was great. It adds like so much character. It had a fireplace. Like, which hotel is going to let you have a fireplace in your room? All that liability.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's to me, it's a net positive, of course. I'm in the industry. A lot of people badmouth Airbnb, and I mean, it's hard to serve. It's like they say, it's hard to serve two masters because they're trying to please the guests and then they're trying to please the hosts, right? And it's hard to do both perfectly. I understand their dilemma, right? So if a host complains and they want to get paid for something that messed up, broke, I don't know, trashed the place, but same thing, guests want to get a full refund because it wasn't like they thought it was going to be. It's hard to make everybody happy, right?
I can really relate to
Yeah,
to that, because we're in exactly the same spot. We have two masters to please. We have, the cleaners that we love, and we have our hosts that we also love, and we want to create a platform that serves both in a way that everyone is happy. But sometimes you can't make everyone happy, and that's difficult. In an Airbnb side, in the end, like the money comes from the guest, and you, right, and you have to make sure that the guest is happy, because if the guest is not happy, then there's no industry, there's nothing.
That is true. There's no industry. Maybe there's no Turno.
There's no Turno, right? So it's ultimately we're all feeding from the guest. So we all have to make sure that the guest is happy, and our role in this industry is to make sure that the guest has a quality stay. That you walk into a property and it's clean and it's up to par with what people expect. Right? You want to make sure that you have your towels, you have your coffee, you have your toilet paper, you have everything that you need to have a really nice stay, and then that you're not turned off by vacation rentals. You're not like, oh, I had this bad experience, I'm only staying in hotels going forward. So, our role in the industry is to make it, more standardized and more, repeatable as a quality stay, that every time you go to a vacation rental, you just feel this sense of order and cleanliness, and everything in its place, and everything you need is where it is, and reducing those errors and those kind of oversights that ultimately turn people off from vacation rentals. So even if we're not serving you as a vacation rental owner, we're serving other people, and we're elevating their level of service so that people who use them be like, oh, wow, I stayed in an Airbnb, a vacation rental, and I loved it. It was great. It was clean. And I'm going to do it again.
Here's an idea, man. I don't know. I get ideas all the time. But and this kind of motivates. This is kind of from I'm thinking of back. You mentioned hotels, and you expect that perfectly clean, crisp sheets, and you got the little coffee bar over there. Everything's in this perfect spot, and the cups and the sink. Everything has perfect. They do so many of the same turnovers in the same place. So it's a machine. Those hotels, but they would always leave this card, right? This card, and say, the cleaner, hi, I'm Maria. I'll be the cleaning, and it motivates me to put a few bucks to Maria, and, hey, take care of the cleaner while I'm here. What if you sent out cards, to your cleaners? It has a little, that square that you scan with your phone. You know what I'm saying? What is that called? The QR code. Yeah. So
you can tip the cleaners.
Yeah.
If you hacked into my phone, how do you know? How do you know about it? We're working on something very similar.
No, but before you finish, that's what I was, because I keep staring at your logo right there, Turno, and it's, hi, I'm Maria, and this room has been cleaned by a professional Turno cleaner. If you're happy with my work, you can scan this QR or whatever. If you need anything, scan this QR. I can bring you whatever you need. I think that'd be cool. And then like you said, I hacked into your phone. Maybe that's where I saw it.
I think so. I think ultimately cleaners, it's a really hard job. And what I love about the cleaners on our platform is that they're all so hardworking and they're all hustling, right? Like they could work retail, they could work other jobs that are less demanding, but they choose to do this, because it pays well. And they have their own schedule. And they're all really striving and working really hard. And if we can make their life easier, if we can drive them some tips, then we're going to try and do that.
Well, yeah, and it's not even just the tips, didn't mean to make a pun there, but also it's showing somebody, professional this is a Turno clean, professional clean. Any comments or anything, you'd like to add or anything that's out of place. I don't know how to write it off my top of my head, but please scan here, let us know. It would help us tremendously too, because a guest would walk in, say, and see a card sitting there, and buy the waters and snacks or whatever. Be to see a card there, and they say, oh, there's that bed's a little or something a little messy, or they missed a spot here. They can scan it and tell us, and we'll freaking fix it instead of going straight to Airbnb and trying to get a free night or free whole stay because
But Steve, we have that already.
Okay.
That is called the guest checkout feature on Turno. If you go there, you can enable it. It will give you codes for each property, and then you can send it to your guest through your guest messaging, or you can create a little printout, and then as they're checking out, they can rate their stay internally. And then also write you some feedback, and that would give you some time to work with them on a resolution before it hits a review on the platform, so that, because those are harder to remove and edit. So if you know that they've had a bad stay before they are leaving a review, then it helps mitigate those.
Okay, and that's great for the checkout thing, but on our end, the most of the complaints is right when they walk through the door. And that's when they're demanding a full refund or give me a night stay because of this, because of that. But if they walk through the door, they see their little snack thing and right by the card and say, if you have any complaints about this professional Turno clean or this from Maria, please let us know, or please scan this and it'll send and let us know exactly what's wrong and we'll fix it. That would help us tremendously.
That's a good idea.
On the front end. The back end, they might already be pissed after day one and day two. They just have a terrible stay and they just want to, whatever. But if as soon as they walk in, they know that, okay, we're going to fix the problem right away. And that's, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about it a lot, but our job is to make sure that they do have that great experience when they walk through the door. And a big part of it is having a property that's been turned and immaculately clean and is inviting and all of that, so that we meet that kind of first impression with a good score, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a little bit of advertising for you guys too. So Turno clean. I've been wanting to host a Airbnb, and nowadays we host a lot of hosts because almost everybody does Airbnb nowadays. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of them use it. But if someone's on the fence or wants to start an Airbnb, Turno does Airbnb cleans. That's who I need to call. Yeah, I don't know.
That's right. Just good idea. Good advice.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I should come on the show more often.
Yeah, bring a notepad or I'll send you the video. No, but I'm just I love what y'all do, and I know you got a million things you want to implement, and so that's cool. But I'm just trying to give you some some feedback from our end, what would help us. So like, yeah, they say first impression is everything. So that's what we want to, get right to the guest,
Yes.
And so, yeah, man, I have, you've answered every question that I've had that I was thinking of asking you for a while. The Walmart thing, Amazon thing, a plug-in, that'd be cool. Discounts for big operators, and you already offer something like that for, professional hosts. You offer a discount on the percentage, that you take from our side, right?
So to be honest, our margin is kind of small. It's 5%. It's not like we take like 20%. So we don't really have a lot of room to work with in that sense. But we do have, custom pricing if you're using your own cleaners, and if you want to work on a subscription discount. But we do have an offer for your listeners.
Oh.
If you go to turno.com/thrive, I made it short so that people don't misspell or mistype. So turno.com/thrive, they will get $150 Amazon gift card after they complete their first marketplace project with us. So if you go to turno.com, you find your cleaner. After you complete your first project, you're going to get $150 Amazon gift card. You just have to start your journey at turno.com/thrive.
Wow. So hire your wife to do the first clean, so she gets paid, and then you get paid, and then
always thinking in shady stuff, Steve.
Hey man, whatever brings us in, your product's good enough, it'll survive dudes like me.
But hey, if your wife wants to start a cleaning business, let me know. We can hook her up.
Okay, she used to clean back in the day. It was bad. She wasn't a bad cleaner, but I would walk in from work and say, "Hey, what's this over here? What's it? Hey, what?" It wasn't a good scenario. So she got out of the cleaning of the units, and then we got into Turno. So that's it all worked out great, man.
I bet we've saved plenty of marriages.
Yes.
From people trying to clean their own rental and stressing out about it. And I have a cool story. One of our first investors was this couple. They had a beautiful rental, and one of them was doing the cleaning, and there was a lot of frustration and anger about the scheduling and all the stress involved with it. And after they started using Turno, or at the time it was TurnoverBNB, like all that stress disappeared, and they were so happy that they thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and they wanted to invest in it. I think they did a good decision there, but it's all about removing stress and removing all that kind of negative aspects of hosting.
Yeah, it is stressful to be a host. It's very stressful to bring a spouse into it as well. And so if you could take that off the plate, which you did for us, and I appreciate that. And we met a nice cleaner, like you said. You set up your house through Turno to get cleaners to clean the house. So we met nice cleaners, and then for our own house, outside of that, not with the business, they've done some cleanings for us at our own house. So it's really helped too. Helps the wife out. She loves to. Oh, cool! That's a really cool gift. Someone's gonna come clean our whole house, and of course we wouldn't hiring someone off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You don't know what you're gonna get, but if you already know you have a great cleaner, they can clean your house too. So it was a win-win.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, man, I love you guys. Thank you all for all you do for the community out there, and empowering these cleaners to start their own businesses. I think that's really cool too. A big side of it, big side effect of it is they can actually start a business, and it helps them keep everything in order and thrive on their end. And
for us, it's not a side business, effect. This is what we wanted to do, and nothing makes me happier than seeing someone who signs up as an individual cleaner and gets the reputation up, and then they're like, oh, I need to hire another person and another person, and all of a sudden, a couple of years later, they have like a huge staff and they have a big business, and they've built it on our platform, and it just makes it all worth it. It really does.
That is cool, man. Well, thank you, brother. I would ask where people could find you, but I think they could find you at turno.com, right?
turno.com, 5-letter domain. We're very happy with it.
That's nice, man. And then turno.com/thrive and get you a $150 Amazon card just in time for Christmas and start your own little Turno journey, man. I can't say enough about these guys. Thank you, Assaf, for hopping on again. We will see you again in the future with all these cool new things you're going to implement in the next coming years. And yeah, man.
Thanks for having me, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, brother. Take care.
Take care.
Live, let, thrive. See y'all later. Out.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.